So, what is the Lake Worth PD culture all about? Who are we? What do we stand for? What are we trying to accomplish? How do we go about doing those things? And maybe more importantly, what makes us different than anyone else, any other police department? Those are all questions that you're going to ask yourself if you're considering coming to work here, if you're considering leaving where you're at, the job that you're at, to make a change. All of those things answer the question, why? Why would you want to leave where you're at? Why would you want to come here? And so the purpose of this video is to really dive in and address the questions surrounding our culture and who we are. So our mission at Lake Worth PD is to create a safe environment where life and commerce thrive. Our guiding principle is excellence in service and protection. So when we talk about those two things, and in a separate video, we'll address the community and kind of that mission statement of life and commerce. But this particular video is going to focus more on our culture and our guiding principle of excellence in service and protection. So in its most basic form, excellence is our focus on going way above and beyond what's expected. So as a police organization, we're expected to answer calls, to at least make an attempt to suppress crime, but we're not okay with just doing the minimum, with just doing the basics. We want to take that mission and that charge and the trust that the public gives us and take that to a whole nother level. And I joke all the time about service and exactly what that means, but here locally, probably the best comparison I can make is to our local Chick-fil-A restaurant. So if you've ever been to a Chick-fil-A, you know that their customer service is off the chart, that there's nothing you can ask for that they won't work to try to get you. If anything is ever wrong, they bend over backwards to correct it. They just stop at nothing to make sure that the people who eat at their restaurant have their expectations met and then some. And we want to do the same thing in law enforcement. We are public servants. And so in that service, we want to make sure that everything that we're doing is about the people we're supposed to be serving. And we always want to look for new and creative ways to be able to meet their expectations and exceed their expectations. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what that looks like because every situation is different, every family's different, every call is different. And so as a leader, my job is to just give that guidance and then get out of the way and trust the wonderful men and women of this department to accomplish it. So, my job, as I often say, is to clear the brush, is to figure out what the obstacles are, figure out what the things that are, what are the things that are in our way that are keeping us from getting to where we want to go. And then I leverage my position and my authority to get those obstacles out of the way. And then I step back and assume the role of a coach. I get on the sideline and I let my team step out and go play, go do the things that the public expects for us to do. I think Steve Jobs said it best when he said that it makes no sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. I hire smart people so that they can tell me what to do. I never and am very careful to make sure that my decisions are not the only ones that dictate where this department goes. I am one of 35, 40 people here that direct this department. And so, yes, in a role or in a way, I'm the leader, I'm the quarterback, but I am far from the most important. So We empower our employees to make decisions. There's none of this like asking for permission to make an arrest or to, engage in some kind of enforcement detail or anything like that. We believe that our officers are capable and they have all the tools they need to make good decisions. And as leaders, we trust them to go out and make those good decisions. We empower them to solve problems. And I think that's an important distinction, because sometimes we get focused on law enforcement and hiring law enforcers and accomplishing that law enforcement mission. And that's important, but really what we're looking for are problem solvers. So a lot of times crime and disorder is just a symptom of an underlying, deeper, more complex problem. And when I say that our people are empowered to solve problems, that's exactly what I mean. To go beyond the violation, to go deep into the root cause and work to solve those problems. And that manifests in many ways around the city and through our department. It could look like organizing volunteer organizations to come in and help a family that's struggling. It could look at loading up someone and driving them somewhere to receive services in lieu of arrest. As creative, all creative options would be available to our team to solve problems. And I think that our officers find that there's a lot of freedom in that they're not expected to be robots where we roll out policy and procedure and their job as an employee is just to follow the rules that I make up. And that's not how we go about doing business here. All I do is set up the framework. I set up the boundaries, and our people dictate how we accomplish the mission within those boundaries. So what that does is it allows each individual officer to bring their own experiences to the table, to leverage their education, their upbringing, their worldview, their religion, their experiences. All of those things come to the table and can be drawn upon in these unique situations. So that's the power of our department, is that it's not guided by one person. It's a group of people who have a common interest in the well-being and service to our community and our visitors. And I think that that's one of the things that makes our department great, is that everybody has a voice. Everybody can leverage their own unique abilities and skills and experiences for the benefit of our community. So, when we talk about culture, I know in our job posting, we say things like progressive administration or supportive administration. And sometimes I think officers are cynical and they're like, yeah, right. I've never seen it. It's all talk. It's no action. And I will not say that we're perfect, but I'll say that we are trying. We are really bending over backwards to embrace progressive ideas, new technology, consider all approaches from a leadership standpoint. I encourage our command staff to set their default answer to yes, as opposed to no. So when new ideas come forward, say yes automatically, and then explore the reasons why it may not be a good idea, or it may be a good idea, as opposed to saying no to everything and then only through persistence or kind of nagging, considering something that someone would bring forward. We are very much a family-oriented, community-oriented police department where everybody knows everybody, everybody's approachable. There's a very well-defined culture of respect for rank, but it's not something where rank is lorded over different members of the department. our leaders understand that as leaders, their role is to be an advocate for their people, to listen to their concerns, to be intrusive and know what's going on in their lives personally and professionally, so that when problems arise or when there are needs or even when there's victories, that can be celebrated by the entire department, or we can rally together to solve those problems. We do not have an adverse culture. We don't have a discipline centric approach. We believe in coaching and counseling. We believe in mentorship and second chances. Just like our approach to the public is to gain voluntary compliance, the same is true with our department, with each other. We want voluntary compliance. We want everybody to follow the rules because they want to be a successful member of the team. And there's not this, always looking over your shoulder, wondering what's going to come down. We don't do that. We're very open. We're very honest. And all we want is the best for our employees and the best thing for the community. And I firmly believe that my number one priority as a chief is on my people. And if my focus and my priority is on my people, then they will take care of the community. So I absolutely am plugged into the community and know what's going on and know what they expect. But here at the office, my job is to support the men and women who are out there getting the job done, advocating for their needs, making sure they have the tools that they need, and then clearing the brush, clearing the obstacles, and making a clear path for them to be successful. Our team has got, we're relatively young as a police department, and we have some incredible ideas that come about. And if you follow us online or anything, you get to see a lot of those things. So if you haven't checked that out and you don't follow us on social media, you can find out a lot about our culture and a lot about who we are and how we communicate to the community. So I would encourage you to check that out. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So you can take a look at any of those things to find out more. But the last thing I want to talk about in reference to our culture is our diversity. So we are an incredibly diverse police department. Our diversity exceeds that of our community. We have all races, religions, sexual orientations, male, female, gender, you know what I mean? So all of that stuff is very much a part of who we are. We're accepting, we're loving. This is a safe place where you can come and you can be yourself and be celebrated for the things that you bring to the table. I never want, and we monitor our culture to make sure that we don't have members of our team who feel like outsiders. This is a very healthy place. This is an open place where we can talk and resolve differences, and everyone has mutual respect for each other. Sometimes police department cultures can be kind of hard to deal with, where it's an adversarial culture and people are not getting along and there are cliques and things like that. And so while I'm sure those things exist at some level here, it's not a systemic problem. We're open and we talk about our differences. And I'm very proud to have a team of people here who represent all walks of life and come from all kinds of different backgrounds. So this is a safe place in that regard. And I think our community is the one that ultimately benefits from our diversity. So it's something that we're very proud of. With that, any questions regarding our culture or our belief system or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks so much.